Welcome, collectors. In this Diecast Emporium review, we're going to be taking a look at the First Gear Komatsu GD655-6 motor grater with ripper in 1/50th scale. As you can see, it comes in a brown outer shipping box with the stock number, which in this case is 50-3409. There's a sticker on the side, which also helps identify what model is inside. You will need to take a razor or an X-Acto knife to cut the top of the box just like this, which I have already done to save us just a little bit of time. Box, of course, protects the model's box, which is right here. That gives us a first glance at what is inside. There's the grater, once again, GD655-6 motor grater with ripper. Caution, this is an adult collectible, not recommended for anyone under the age of 14. Here's your First Gear logo, the Komatsu logo on this side. On the top, you have a picture of the real motor grater at work. On this side, you can see a description of the model in multiple different languages, manufactured by First Gear. On the back of the box, you can see some dimensions and information about the real motor grater, such as its center of front axle to counterweight pusher, which in this case is 930 millimeters. Also, other information here if you'd like to pause the video and read about that. There's also some drawings that would appear in the Real Equipment's brochure. On the bottom of the box, you can see that I purchased this model from my good friends at ConstructionDiecast.com. There's the website, ConstructionDiecast.com. Their phone number, 888-300-3443, and they are located in Cypress, Texas. All right, with that done, let's begin unboxing the model. Now, the first time you take this model out of the box, this does have a plethora of twist ties, which annoyingly you will have to fiddle with. I always recommend that you just cut them because it's the easiest way to prevent any potential damage happening to the model. So once you've done that, you can then lift the top plastic portion of the model's protection packaging up. Again, you will have to cut some tabs on that as well because it's taped in about 17 different places. Here's some of the other packaging components that are used to keep the model safe during transport. There's the twist ties as well. Some other packaging elements that we'll remove out of the way. Once you have done that, make sure you're very careful on what you lift up on, and you're able to lift the grater straight out. With the GD655 now completely free, let's start by taking a look at the smaller details and decals that make up this model, all of which are typical First Gear quality, which is pretty good. They're pretty crisp and legible. You can see GD655 back here. Some decals make up the venting on the side of the engine cover, right here. There's some hand and grab rails all throughout the model. Some are yellow and some are gray. If we move the grater to the rear, you can see that this version has a 3-shanked ripper on the back, and we'll go over the functionality of that in just a bit. You can also see that it has a partially see-through venting on the back of the engine cover, as well as multiple different colors for lights. Turning it around, the wheels are also very nicely detailed, although the lug nut caps are not highlighted in a different color. As you can see, they're still Komatsu yellow, but that's okay, as that mirrors some of the real look of the graters that I've seen. Some of them, the lug nut colors are black, some of them they're left yellow. Moving along, you can see that the interior of the grater is somewhat detailed as well, with the steering wheel there, your control console. Also, different windshield wipers, mirrors, and also two very thin and, to be quite honest, very good-looking aerials or antennas on top of the cab. Moving along, you can see very thin and very good-looking hydraulic lines going to the cylinders that control your motor grater blade. Moving towards the front, you can see forward-facing lights along with some small orange and white ones at the bottom. And that brings us back around where we started, where you can see Komatsu up here, some more lights, some more intricately detailed hydraulic lines going from the circle all the way up to the front part of the axle. If we take a look at the top of the grater, you can see the top of the cab detail, as well as, although it's a bit hard to see because it's all gray, dark grayish black, an air cleaner, your exhaust, some more venting, And that allows us to now transition into the functionality of this model. Now, most of the components on here are die-cast. There are some plastic components mixed in, but it is hard to tell because the color match is very respectable. So you do want to take a little bit of care when you're posing and displaying this model in multiple different positions. So let's start out with the basic articulation, which has been molded quite well. That's one of the ways that graters can help steer. You can see that there's a cylinder here across the main articulation joint. Also, graters can be steered from the front, and this grater has a very good range of steering on the front axle, and it also can transverse or oscillate and lean for rough surfaces or for doing some grading on a slope. At the back, your ripper can be lowered to there, and it will hold the weight of the rear of the machine off the ground so that the wheels can spin. You've also probably noticed that your back two axles can oscillate, which is good to see on any grater model. So let's lift the ripper back up to the carry position. Turn our attention to all the different poses and functionality of the blade. The blade can slide side to side. So here we have it slid all the way over to the right. Conversely, you can slide it back all the way to the left. Obviously, you can spin and turn it. It can also be raised and angled to achieve an aggressive slope cut at either angle. So just about any pose that you'd want a grater to mimic its real-life counterpart, this model can achieve, which makes it score very, very high on the Emporium rating metric. So if you are looking for a Komatsu grater in 1/50th scale, that performs very well, looks very detailed, and will look great in a diorama, or likewise in the display cabinet. The GD655-6 version with ripper is a very good example for you to have. The last pose I want to show you is how it looks on a modern-day lowboy, so let's bring in our Specialized XL lowboy. This particular setup is the blue International HX520 cab with the XL Specialized lowboy 3-axle trailer. So let's see how these two would look. Obviously, this would be a wide load configuration. And as you can see, it looks equally as good on a lowboy as it does displayed on the job site. As I mentioned before, you can purchase this model right now from my friends at ConstructionDiecast.com. While you're there, make sure you subscribe to their email service for the latest news, releases, new arrivals, and offers. And as always, I'm Tommy with Diecast Emporium. Thank you all so much for watching. Until next time, take care and be safe. I will see you in the next review.